This is the neXup 3 quick topics. Real quick, we will knock out 3 topics that are on my mind. So let's go ahead and get started with topic number 1. Where is the best location for the fingerprint scanner? Now, I've seen people talk about this on several occasions. Some people like it on the rear, some people like it on the front, and there are even some who are loving that it's on the power button. For me, right now, I'm kind of liking it on the rear. It seems to be the best location, the quickest as far as unlocking, especially on the Pixel phones. But I can understand people as we get to these ultrasonic in-glass fingerprint scanners liking it on the front, especially if you have your phone on the dresser or desk at work, and you just want to check a message real quick to be able to just put your fingerprint on the glass and have it unlocked. So I can understand where a lot of people would prefer it on the front, especially being that with a lot of the phones, the iPhones and stuff like that, they have always had their home buttons on the front. I can see that probably being the ideal location for most people. But for me, I prefer it on the rear. Number 2, will Google be making an announcement for a console at GDC? It looks like it. We're looking right now that Google is going to have a keynote at the Game Developer Conference. And a lot of people have been thinking that they may actually launch a gaming console. In a way, if they decide to go that route, I don't know if they can be really competitive in this market. With pretty much PlayStation, I would say, dominating this, and Xbox pretty close behind. Google is planning on going all out. I do not see any way that they are going to be able to be competitive in this market, especially with the fact that we kind of saw an Android or somewhat of an Android version of a gaming system with the NVIDIA Shield. And, just having a cloud-based gaming system without the game to go with it, just not going to work. And unless Google have the licenses to bring the top games to their console, they're not going to be able to really compete with the PlayStation and Xbox of the world, especially when you look at games like Madden. You got your fighting games, your sporting game, and just all kinds of stuff like that people are going to want to see. And if they can't bring that to their console, it's going to be a waste of time. So, if they plan on going that route, it's going to be interesting to see what they are able to do there. But knowing Google, considering that they've been pretty half-cocked about a lot of things, I wouldn't be surprised if they put out some type of gaming platform that's really a hidden version of a home hub, or just a smart device like a Chromecast or something like that, where it's mainly meant to stream television and stuff like that, but you can pull games from their Play Store. I don't see it being as competitive, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, and you'll get a chance to see more of it this week, as are supposed to be making an announcement on, looks like, the 19th of this month, a couple days from now. So there's a lot of hype with this Android Q beta. I'm one of the people hyping it up as well. I'm excited. We got brand new software, but I have to ask the question, are we giving Google a pass for features that they're claiming to add to their software that, let's be honest, other manufacturers have had it for years? That's a good question. I think so. Let's take something like picture-in-picture, which came to Android a couple years ago. The reality is Samsung had that as far back as the Note 2, and it took Google a while to get that there. And one of the things I talked about yesterday on my podcast was the ability to go into the theming of developer options and change the accent colors and font. Well, I was able to do that on my OnePlus 6T last year, and it wasn't under the developer options. It was something that anybody can do under the display options. And yet Google just now decided to make that something that someone can play with under the developer options. And with that being under developer options, that may not make its way to the final build. They're just a number of software or tweaks that Google have added, and I have to admit, people like myself have, applauded them for it. But the reality is they are behind the power curve when it comes to software. In some areas, yes, they have done a magnificent job with the camera and the software they're doing there, and some of the other tweaks that they do under the hood that just make Android smooth. But when it comes to features, that's just not their game, and it's clear that they're just not anywhere near someone like a Samsung or Huawei or a couple other companies like there that are adding these features to their phones that, yeah, it should have been baked into stock Android a long time ago. And as much as I am excited about Android Q, and I can't wait to see it make its final build come available for these Pixel phones, become available in the fall, the reality is that I think a lot of the features that we're going to see have been out for a while. And so for us to kind of give Google credit for what they're putting out now, it's really just overhyped. And yeah, I mean, I want to see Google actually really step it up as far as really leading the charge when it comes to these new software developers, and not just waiting to kind of see what works and then choosing to put out a version that, to be honest, is really a watered down version of what the manufacturers have put out years before. So leave your comments below on what are your thoughts on these 3 topics. Where do you want to see the fingerprint scanner? Do you think Google's going to put out a game console? And will it be able to compete? And lastly, are we giving Google a lot of hype for software they should have put out years ago? Thank you again for joining me with these 3 quick topics. I'm out.